And to those dropping comments, Alex, Grace, and Mrs. Bimbola Motosha, good afternoon to you all. All right, so today we are having just one event actually that will run simultaneously from the United States by 1:30 p.m. this afternoon. And the event is all about the core retail sales and retail sales from the United States. So the core retail sales is the change in the total value of sales at the retail level, excluding automobiles, and actual greater than forecast is to be good for the currency. And the retail sales is the change in the total value of sales at the retail level. Again, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So currently, the forecast for core retail sales is 0.2%. By 1:30 p.m., if the data that comes out is greater than 0.2%, that means that we're going to be buying the dollar. The color will be in color green if it is greater than 0.2%. If on the other hand, it is less than 2% to be in color red, and that means we'll be selling the dollar if it's less than. Same thing is to happen to the retail sales also. Data that's released is greater than minus 0.5, it means we are also buying the dollar, and if it is less than minus 0.5, it means we're going to be selling the dollar. So we're looking out for a possible scenario where if both data comes out good for the dollar, we'll have a green color. That means we are buying the dollar. And if on the other hand, both data comes out, less than the forecast, which is color red, it means we're going to be selling the dollar. The other scenario is maybe one of them is green, the other is red, which will lead to a conflict where we have a buying and selling simultaneously. Or one may be green, the other may be black, or one is red, the other may be black. That will weaken the strength, either in the bullish or bearish direction. These are just the possibilities around the outcome that is expected on this instrument by 1:30. But to get a clearer picture of what we are to expect, we can as well just go straight to the chart and look at what the chart is saying concerning the dollar. And I'll be looking at the USD CHF for this. Now, USD CHF closed for last week on a support zone on the weekly time frame. That is this region where I'm putting the rectangle. And we know that in technical analysis, when price closes around the support zone or a support level, it means we are looking at the possibility of a reversal into the bullish direction. So when we had the weekly outlook yesterday, Monday, I said it that this week we are bullish on the dollar. You can see that yesterday candle was a green one. So if the data comes out good for the dollar this afternoon, we will see a further bullish movement on the USD CHF. The other reason why we'll be looking for a bullish movement on the USD CHF is that we're having the possible formation of a double bottom pattern here, which could also trigger price to go in the bullish direction. So by and large, we'll hold a bullish outlook on the USD CHF. Now, this is on the weekly time frame. We can still drill down to the 4-hour with our top-down analysis. And on the 4-hour time frame, we can comfortably draw a trend line here and another one here to form a falling wedge pattern. Falling wedge patterns are usually bearish reversal patterns. Anytime you see them, it means price is going to reverse from a bearish to a bullish direction. So two ways. If the data comes out good, like I said, we'll see a bullish breakout on the dollar. And what if another scenario happens where the data comes out bad for the dollar? If the data comes out bad for the dollar, price may come down here, possibly to retest this trend line from the effect of that fundamental. But much later, the technical and the general sentiment of price will still take over, and price will still reverse back into the bullish direction. So if price drops down, if the data is bad, well, we may end up having a kind of a double bottom pattern here, which will aid to trigger the price up. But let's just leave that out for now. Let's focus on what the general sentiment is, which is a bullish sentiment. So if the data comes out good for the dollar by 1:30 p.m., you are safe to place a buy trade on the USD CHF. And if the USD CHF is buying, conversely, Euro USD might also go bearish because they are negatively correlated. But then what I always don't advise is buying USD CHF and selling Euro USD. That may not be a good move. Otherwise, just pick one of them. Either you want to buy USD CHF or you want to sell Euro USD. Now, on the technical notes, a currency pair I'm watching for intraday trading today is the Euro JPY. Euro JPY is trading around a resistance level on both the daily and the weekly time frame. That's the weekly there. On the daily is still at a resistance. For the benefit of those who might not get that, we have a support turned resistance at this region here. So we're looking for a bearish movement on the Euro JPY. That's both on the daily and the weekly time frame. So if you flip down to the 1 hour time frame, this is what I'm seeing on the 1 hour. We have a slight range here, and we're expecting a breakout into the bearish direction. So we can take it a step further by drawing our trend line right here, and a second one at the back to form a rising wedge pattern. Now we will look at taking a sell. Let me remove that resistance zone so that we can get proper clarity on what is happening at the moment. We have a trend line here, a second one at the back, and this region here is a range. It's still within that major main region on the daily and the weekly time frame. So we'll be looking at taking a sell trade if price breaks out below the lower part of this range, which is acting like a support level. So if price, a new candle is able to open below that level, then we can trigger a sell on the Euro JPY. Also, we need a final confirmation of RSI below 50. RSI is at 49.50 now. It has not yet crossed. So if a new candle opens below the support zone, yes, the RSI might have dropped, lower at that point, and that can give us clarity to take a sell trade on the Euro JPY. So we're bearish on the Euro JPY for this afternoon session, 1 hour, setup. Finally, I'll look at gold. Many of us like to trade gold. Now, technically, gold is bearish at the moment, technically. This is gold on the daily time frame, and we can see there's a resistance zone up there and a reversal candlestick pattern here, like double Marubozu, one bullish, the other bearish. The bearish one was the last one for yesterday, indicating potential bearish movement on gold, purely from a technical perspective. And if we take it down to the 4 hour time frame, we can see a rising wedge pattern, which is also an indication of a possible bearish movement, all from technical, angle. However, if the geopolitical tension between, or the war between Israel and Iran, if it escalates, gold may push into the buy zone. So if you are there, you are trading gold, trade gold with a lot of caution, a lot of caution. Technically, it's bearish. Fundamentally, that may turn around to be bullish. So if you want to trade gold, you need a lot of clarity. Technically, we cannot sell. It's actually a swing setup. For swing, you only sell when price breaks this trend line below and your RSI is clearly below 50. That's for swing. If you even want to sell on 1 hour, you need to wait for price to break out below this current zone on the 1 hour before you can look at the possibility of a sell on 1 hour. Let's take it down to 1 hour. Yes, price a new candle have to clearly break out below this zone for you to take a buy even on 1 hour. So trade gold with a lot of caution at this point. All right, that will be all from my end this afternoon. I've analyzed 3 pairs for us, even 4. I said I'm bullish on the USD CHF, I'm bearish on the Euro USD. For gold, technically bearish, but may go bullish based on other factors. So trade with a lot of caution. And I said I'm bearish on the Euro JPY on the 1 hour time frame. If you're yet to join our 5X group, you're missing a lot. Reach out to your account manager to get you added. If you follow some of the signals we're dropping, there was a setup I dropped on Euro AUD yesterday. It already hit 60 pips today. That's quite a lot, even if it's just every other day you pick that kind of trade. So don't miss out on what is happening. The goal is to help you push your account to 5X of whatever capital you put in there. It may not really be in a month, but it's a process, and we're gradually moving, in that direction of being profitable. We are overall profitable, right in that group. So make sure you join it as soon as possible. All right, we'll be ending the analysis here. If you have a question, you can post it now as we begin to round up. Any question? USD All right, that's from Grace. Okay, Grace USD Benedicta BTC. Okay. Technically, I'm bullish on the USD and I'll give you my reasons for that. One, the USD CHF is bullish. The dollar is general. Even on the dollar index, we have a bullish sentiment on the dollar. For USD a close look at the chart is giving me an outlook of, it's not an inverse head and shoulder. This looks a lot like a triple bottom pattern on the daily time frame, which may trigger a bullish movement. This region here will be the neckline, and price is trading at that region already. Technically, I hold a bullish outlook, not just because of that triple bottom pattern, also because we have a trend line that is connecting the recent lows. This is an indication of an uptrend. Price has been bouncing off the trend line. At least on the third touch, you saw a bounce. The fourth touch, we're expecting a bounce. Then the triple bottom. So technically, I hold a bullish outlook on the USD and BTC. Now, I gave a bullish outlook on BTC yesterday at the weekly market outlook. Remember, I said that I was seeing the formation of like a triple bottom inverse L here, which will break above that resistance level. And that has already happened. Though it didn't hit this main resistance, up there. Rather, it's, you can see some retracement. Now, price is back again to this trend line where we have recent higher lows. Price is back again to that trend line. And there's a tendency that price will reverse back up again. Otherwise, if the drop in the bearish direction is very strong, we may see a break down below. But the first point of contact, or the first point to note, is a possibility of a movement back into the original direction, which is an uptrend direction from this region. Except other things happen in the market. And another thing that may support that bullish outlook is that this is forming an inverse head and shoulder this time around, which may also trigger that bullish break. Don't forget that we're still in the bull run. for the BTC. So overall, sentiment still is bullish, and we're having what looks like an inverse head and shoulder, or better still, price meeting at a confluence zone where there can be a reversal to the bullish direction. However, if a new candle opens below this trend line, yes, we may see a sell to the next support level. But the first point of call is the possibility of a reversal into the bullish direction. I hope that has cleared the analysis on both BTC and USD/JPY. All right, that'll be all from my end this afternoon. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Enjoy the rest of the day, sir.